Hello, Ali here, and in today's video we're taking a look at a new module from RYK Modular, the Envy Machine. And the Envy Machine is described as a compact 4-channel modulation machine, which basically means there are 4 channels of modulation, and each channel can be either an ADSR envelope, an AD envelope, an AD LFO, a random voltage LFO, or a recordable knob voltage controller. So there is a lot packed in here. And the idea today is to give an overview of the module and then dive into some patches. If that sounds good, then please stick around. Also, please subscribe if you've not already. And finally, if you do enjoy my videos and you'd like to support my work, then I have a Patreon where I upload extra videos as well as sample packs and preset packs, which are also available on my online store. I have a cassette for sale. You can grab this on my Bandcamp, and finally there are some affiliate links down below as well. So yeah, let's dive into the video. Okay, so here is the Envy Machine. I do want to keep this section quite brief, but there is a lot to get through, so let's get on with it. I'm going to bring up the algo. And yeah, so each channel has an output along the bottom, as well as a gate input and a modulation input, so you can modulate your modulator. I'm currently in the ADSR mode, and we just use the knobs here to control the attack, decay, sustain and release. So let's patch this into my filter, and I'm going to take a gate from the BeatStep Pro to trigger the envelope, and then bring my filter down. And I might bring up the warp so we can actually hear what's happening. And it can get snappy. And we also have some secondary controls. By hitting the option button, we can actually change the shape. And the out level, it's kind of like an attenuator there, which is very handy. Let's go over next to channel 2. We hit the channel button to go to the second channel. We're also in the ADSR mode, but I want to go to the LFO mode, so you hold the blue button, press option, that's AD, and now we have our LFO. And what I'll do for this is patch it into the fold, and I'll probably open up the filter so we can really hear what's happening. And for this one we use the A and D, or the attack and the decay, to change the shape of the LFO. And it absolutely does go into the audio range. And another cool trick here is if we hold option and move one of the controls, then they will both move together. And just like the envelope, we do have the shape control again. So there really is a lot of control over the shape of the LFO. There's our square wave. And next, let's move over to channel 3 and take a look at the random mode. And I think for this, I'll probably use the filter, that will be the easiest to hear. So I'm going to patch that in, bring my filter down. And we control the frequency with this control. But a cool thing about this is we can use the gate input to kind of trigger. Maybe I'll use a faster gate. So now we've got the sample and hold on the filter and the LFO on the fold. And finally, let's take a look at channel 4 here, which is the knob recording function. And I guess for this one, what should I do? Maybe I'll open up the filter again and we'll modulate the fold. So that's what it's doing, and to record we hold the blue button. And another cool thing about this is that we can trigger this one as well, or retrig even. Which means you can have your recorded modulation be sort of in sync. If you want to delete it, you just click the encoder and then you can record another one. And there's one more thing I wanted to demonstrate here, which is the modulation. So let's get that envelope back. Yeah, that sounds great. So if you want to modulate any parameter, we would hit the option button, and we have a list here of modulation destinations. So I'm just going to choose the, I guess, the level of the envelope. And I'll use channel 4 of math to demonstrate this. I'm going to patch it in to the modulation input. And let's get this cycling fast. So that's now modulating the output of the envelope. Oh yeah, one more final thing is you can actually knob record for any of the parameters in any of the modes. So if I wanted to open up the release or something, you could. So that's super powerful. But yeah, I think that's almost everything. So yeah, let's dive into some patches. that in my rack there is no maths for maybe the first time ever in this channel. That's because maths is pretty much my go-to envelope. It has 2 channels and I use them quite often as 2 envelopes. But of course the Envy machine has 4 channels, so my 2 envelopes are coming from here. I think channel 4 is my envelope for braids. That's it fully open. And that's it. So I do have it quite snappy, but with a long release. And in channel 3, I have a sample and hold going into the color control, which is a really nice sort of quantized pitch. Kind of similar to that, but instead of doing the root note, it just does one of the notes, I think, of the chord. Yeah, so that's really nice. I love it. And then channel 1 is my envelope, filter envelope for Algo. And channel 2 is in the LFO mode and it's modulating the cross mod, so if I take that out, kind of basic sine wave with a little bit of the warp on, but when we put the LFO in, we get some really interesting effects. Gonna make that snappy again. Just bring in beads for a bit of ambience. Also finally want to give a shout out to this algorithm on the effects aid. I think it is a flanger plus reverb. Really nice. this jam, there's nothing crazy going on. I'm using the Envy machine as my filter envelope for braids and algo. So let's break it down a bit what's going on. I have an algorithm on the effects side. I'm not exactly sure which one it is. The way I kind of use the effects side is like the first 3 or 4 algorithms are the ones that I use all the time. So there's like generation lost, the black hole reverb, then a nice chorus, then a delay, and then anything after that is a kind of random selection. But this is bringing a really nice kind of almost rhythmic sort of reverb. So that's what braids is doing. And the effects side, I don't know, there's just something about the character of this that I really like. And I'm using the knob recording function on Envy Machine to modulate a couple of parameters here. We can see it there. That's modulating the timbre, and on this channel modulating the colour, and I'm just kind of using the out level here to bring that in and out when I want it. Beads, I've got beads kind of being a bit more granular than normal. Density really high up, and we're also tuned to an interval here, so the sound does sound a bit kind of stretched and smudged. And I just had that sitting in the background, and it kind of brings like a little counter melody, which I really like. And then algo is just doing a really crazy sound. And that's basically just because the cross mod is so high up. Works really nicely with the harmony on beads. And final wee sort of, I want to say trick that I was kind of doing there was the sort of little breakdown part. I was moving the Vostok Atlas filter from low pass to band pass. Quite like this jam. Yeah, my thoughts regarding the Envy machine is a really powerful modulation source, especially when you take the size into consideration. If size is a concern for you, if rack space is a concern, then this thing is going to fit perfectly in your rack because you get 4 channels of modulation and it's really diverse in what it can do. You could have it as 2 envelopes and 2 LFOs, and I guess you could even self-patch, which I only just thought about just now, to get some really bizarre, complex LFO sounds. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed my initial explorations of the Envy machine. If you have, please leave a like and a comment, and thank you for watching. I'll catch you all again soon.